Right, well, how about this to open a new episode? I'm only doing a quick overnighter, and I've only gone and bagged a beautiful little 18 pound and 4 ounce common. He's very angry, so I don't know if he's going to behave himself when I pick him up, but we'll lift him up and have a look. It's only 11:30 at night, so there's still plenty more time to go. I quickly got the rod back out on the spot before getting this fish out to sort it out. So he's had like 5 minutes to recover, but he's very angry and he keeps tensing up. But we'll do him his justice. He's graced us with a bite, so it's only fair that I should grace him with a little bit of screen time. Come on. Very angry. Putting his dorsal up for us, putting on a show. There you go, look at that. 18 pound and 4 ounce, I think it was. Ounce irrelevant. Beautiful little fish. And we're off the mark. And the night is still young. Fingers crossed. Might be in for a few more. Oh, hello, there you go. Popped his fin up just to say goodbye. Lovely job. Right, well, good morning. Suppose I should really do a proper sort of little intro really. Back down at the lake, literally just had the opportunity to do a quick overnighter, so obviously jumped at the opportunity. Got down here, obviously like everybody else, had a swim booked. I was actually booked round on the back arm, because that's where the fish have been coming from a couple of weeks ago, and last week, which is when I made the booking. Got down here, had a chat with Nick, the head bailiff in the shop, and he literally shook his head at me. As soon as I told him what swim I was in, he said, if I was you, I'd go and look down the shallows. So that's exactly what I did. Come down here, and it was just fish everywhere, loads of fish. Basically what's going on is the bream is spawning, and because the bream is spawning, obviously the carp are all over their spawn, eating their spawn, and there was, you know, fish cruising around absolutely everywhere. It was about 20 degrees yesterday though, to be fair. It's been really nice the last couple of days. It's going to be a bit overcast now for the next few days, but anyway, loads of fish down here, so no brainer. Yeah, changed your swim, quick overnight arm, down in Flagpole, loads of open water in front of me, and to be fair, a lot of the other swims around here were all taken anyway, so no problem coming in here. It's been good to me in the past, and obviously was good to me last night by having that little 18 pounder. So yeah, got down here, got set up, probably spent the first, I reckon, 3 hours, up until nearly darkness, trying to nick one off the surface because there were fish cruising around, but couldn't really get any to take any with any sort of gusto really. Just the odd one fish would cruise along and pick up the odd one mixer, that was it. Tried fishing zigs, couldn't get nothing on them neither. You might have just heard that little bleep there from my rod. Basically, the biggest problem I've had all the time I've been here and most of the night is the bream spawning. They are literally 3 rod lengths out from the bank in the weed spawning. I've actually caught 4 in the afternoon yesterday when I was with the zigs. Not on the zigs, basically because they're in the margin right under my feet pretty much, and just a little bit further out, they're obviously so preoccupied with getting it on that they literally rolled into my lines to the point that I was constantly getting bleeps, liners, the worst liners I've had in my life. At one point, well, 2 or 3 times, Nick the bailiff was stood here with me. They actually took line off the spool. They were that bad. But what was happening was, because they were so busy doing what they're doing, they literally rolled themselves on the line, and all 4 of them sort of got their tails wrapped around the line. So I had to think fast, try to think how I could get rid of that. So basically what I've done is, obviously I've brought the rods in, put them out for the night, and I've put the tips up literally as high as I possibly can to try and get the line to fall over the back of those weed beds to then go out to the spot. It worked through the night. Obviously now we're 5:15 in the morning and I'm now getting the liners again, but that's because the bream have turned up. Obviously they must have stopped from about 10:30 last night and then now decided to come back again. But furthermore, more to the point, we have been fortunate. I have got another fish in the sling, which I landed only a couple of minutes ago. Actually had a double take, right hand rod, got me up out of bed, picked into it. Literally as I'm tightening the clutch, the left hand rod's absolutely screamed off. One toner. Not a lot you can do in that situation. Obviously you can't play two fish at one time, so just tighten the clutch on the left hand rod and focus on the fish I already had on the right. Luckily managed to get that one in. That's in the retainer. Beautiful. I think it's probably upper 20, maybe scrape 30 if I'm lucky, but I think probably more, about 28 pound common. Well happy with that. Unfortunately the left hand rod, by the time I picked it up, the line was all completely slack and the fish had done me in the weeds, so never mind, got one in, lost the other one. So far 2 banked, 1 lost. Still got a couple more, about 2.5 hours before I've got to be off, so I think there's still plenty of time for more. But before I forget to say it, one thing I would always recommend, and it's kind of really no-brainer, but a lot of people don't, when you come to a place like this, a busy day ticket lake, speak to the bailiffs. They know what they're talking about. They're here all day, every day. They know what's being caught. They're constantly driving around the lake, walking around the lake, speaking to people. They can generally point you in the right direction. So if you turn up here, yes, you may have a swim pre-booked, but always ask. Always ask, or even just go and have a look. Find out what other swims are empty and go and have a look before you set your stall up in the swim that you pre-booked, because you might not be on them. And the bailiffs here will always point in the right direction, and to be fair, very rarely have I ever found that their advice has been wrong. So yeah, big one to Nick, to be fair, for telling me to come and have a look straight down here. To be fair, I would have walked up the point and had a look in the shallows from that side anyway, but it saved me a bit of time and effort rather than getting out and doing that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get this one out and show what it looks like. Right, well, second fish of the night and the trip. Part of the double take. Sadly lost the other one, like I said earlier, but not complaining because we've been rewarded with a nice 24 pound 7 ounce common. Thought it was a little bit bigger when I landed it, if I'm honest, and lifted it out of the water. Very, very lively, as I'm sure you can tell by the splashing and flapping around, but hopefully it'll behave itself and we can lift her up for you to have a look. Right, there we go. 24 pound 7 ounce, beautiful common, and I am more than happy. Fish shown all over me already this morning, so all the rods are all back out on the spots, so I'm confident we might be able to nick one these last couple of hours before I've got to pack up and be off. But if not, I'm well happy. Right, well, 7:15 now. Yeah, 7:15 now, so probably about half an hour and I have to bring the rods in because, like I say, I've got to be off at 8. Somebody else is booked near after me, so probably going to be no more action now for me, I imagine. Rods are still out, obviously. There has been fish showing, but I haven't really seen nothing for about the past sort of 20 minutes. Still just getting savage liners from the bream, but even they seem to have gone quiet the last 5-10 minutes, so don't know what's going on. But there's a lot more overcast today, so whether that's going to have a knock-on effect, I don't know. But either way, 24 hours, landed 2, lost 1, can't complain with that. You can see the weed is starting to come up now down here in the shallow bay, but to be fair, I found if you're patient, flick a bare lead around, you can find clear spots. They are there to be had. The only issue I've had is with those flipping bream keep constantly rubbing up against me line and going through it and everything like that, but that's part and parcel of it. Didn't stop me from catching a fish, did it? So made up with that, just gonna have one last cup of tea, pack the rods up and head for home. But I'm back down next week for one of my normal sort of 36-hour sessions, so fingers crossed my little run of good form, well, starting today because I blanked last time, will continue, and fingers crossed we can get into some more. But that's it for now. I'll see you in a bit. Right, here we go again then. We're back down here, back down for a nice little session. Got 36 hours ahead of me this time rather than the quick overnight that I'd done last week. So a bit more time on my hands, so fingers crossed we can get amongst the fish and get a few more than we did last week. I'm actually coming back in the same swim. I'm back in Flagpole. I was booked in a different swim because when I made the booking a few weeks ago, long range weather forecast, obviously inaccurate as it is, said that the weather conditions were going to be strong winds, strong northerly winds, which were humping up the top end. So, you know, I went on that and booked it 35, but as we got closer to this session, the weather's kept changing, and it's actually been a really nice weekend. It's now Monday. Obviously the lake was busy all over the weekend, but there's been a few fish out pretty much everywhere around the lake, but not up that top end, so I'm quite glad I haven't made the change. I had a quick walk round as I always do, saw a few fish cruising around the shallows. I knew a couple of fish come out of there, especially this, I think one come out a couple of swims down just a few hours ago, so kind of made my mind up really. I fished this swim last week, conditions not as good as last week, I must admit. The bream stopped spawning now, but I'm pretty adamant the weed's still going to be absolutely full of bream spawn, so the carp are still going to be down here munching on that, so I'm really confident that we can get in amongst a few. Weather, a bit overcast and a bit dull at the minute, to be fair. It has been nice and sunny all weekend, but it is still lovely and warm. I'm in a t-shirt. I'm actually really hot and bothered, partly because I've just dragged the kit from the car down here, but I'm not going to waste any time because it does say there is rain due within the next sort of 45 minutes to an hour, so I'm going to quickly get all the gear set up, get the house put up, try and flick a couple of singles out on the spots where I had takes from last week and see if I can nick one early, because if it does start to rain, with it being warm and overcast as well, the air pressure is quite low, I think we might be in for the chance for a quick bite. That's the plan. Let's get that set up, let's get the rods out, and I'll talk to you a bit more a bit later. Right, coming into the first night now, lights starting to fade, it's about 7 o'clock. Feeling pretty confident, to be fair. Managed to get all 3 rods out, bang on the money, nice and easy. I left it for about 3 hours, just see if I could, sort of pick anything up with just a single hook bait on the spots, but nothing come of that, so I'll put a little bit of bait out. I haven't gone mad. Like I say, it's a Monday, it was a busy weekend, so I have no idea how much bait the people that were in here before me have piled in, so just gone with just a softly approach. I'll just put 8 spoms of 20mm Apex formula boilies over the top of the rods, just see if I can entice a bite really. Just want to get something feeding on the spot, maybe nick 1 or 2 if I'm lucky, but then I'll top it up during the night and add more tomorrow. Just had a bream, yay, just for a change, but that's fine, I don't mind too much. You often pick them up down here, and so it happens. But what I have found many times down here, once you start getting you get a bream or 2, the carp tend to follow them in and then get on your bait afterwards, so fingers crossed I won't get too many bream, and hopefully some carp will move in. So keeping it simple, just like I always do. Got 2 rods on my go-to snowmen rigs, 20mm Apex formula bottom bait and 15mm white strawberry fields pop-ups on the top, and then the other rod is just on a single white pop-up strawberry fields, of course, just to see what's going around. It's a small little gravel patch I've managed to find that I'm fishing to, because the weed has come up quite a lot off the bottom, so just found a little clear patch. Like I say, that's where I had some fish off last week, so I know the fish do get in there and do feed. So yeah, just trying a couple of different rigs on the bottom just to see what happens really. But yeah, feeling confident, I'm happy, I'm set up, I'm sound. Bit of rain now coming in, so I'm gonna have to end this now. I'm gonna get some dinner on, and fingers crossed we'll see what the night brings, and if I'm lucky I'll see you again in the middle of the night with a fish in my arms. Right, well, if I appear pleased with myself, it's because I am. I've managed to go and bag one. It's a beautiful looking mirror. I can't wait to get it out, get it on the mat and have a proper look at it. But the reason why I'm so happy about it is I've got and nailed it off the top. That's my first surface fish caught this year. I tried down here last week when I was here because there was a few fish showing, but couldn't get anything feeding. Today, oh hello, one of my other rods just bleeps. Anyway, yeah, I went and had a shower at lunchtime, come back. Sun had come out, there was fish everywhere. I reckon no more than probably about 5 rod lengths out, about 7 or 8 fish. I've been feeding biscuits for ages, they weren't really taking any. After I'd say probably nearly about 45 minutes, I got a few of them taking a few, but they kept moving here, there and everywhere. They weren't really feeding in one spot, they were just picking up bits and pieces here and there. So I thought I'm going to chance it. Got the floater rod out, fake floating dog biscuit as a hook bait, and I've kind of almost been not chasing them a little bit, but kind of putting out my hook bait, bringing it close enough to me to the area where they have been, and then catapulting more mixes over the top of my hook bait. Anyway, I've been doing that now for probably an hour or so. Started to get a little bit of rain, a few little spits, and as you can probably tell now, it's become really overcast, so I think it probably is going to rain soon, and I thought my chance had gone. Give it one last cast out, put the rod on the floor, few handfuls of mixes over the top again, and just sort of stood there. And there was so much ripple on the surface, I couldn't really see a lot, to be honest. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this back comes out, and before I know it, there's a massive swirl. I pick up the rod, and bang, we're into one. Part of hell of a scrap as well. I've forgotten how nice it was to feel fighting a nice big carp on the surface gear, but she's safe in the net. You can see just down here now. You can probably just make out my controller. You can't really see the fish because it's in the margin. Nice deep margins here. So yeah, I'm gonna quickly get this camera set up on the tripod, get ready to go, get her out for you to have a look at. Made up. Right, well, here she is in. Just weighed her, 26 pounds and 2 ounce. Well happy with that. Covered in leeches for some reason. Weird. Loads of them on her. Right. There she is. 26 pounds, 2 ounce. Absolutely made up with that. First surface caught fish of the year. I by no means least am I a good surface angler. I'd never say I am. But when the opportunity presents itself, then absolutely you have to give it a go. And this just pays proof that it is always worth a go. Brilliant. Let's get her back, see if I can get him feeding again. I don't think I can. I haven't seen nothing since I landed this fish, so I might get lucky if the sun comes back out again and this wind drops a touch, but gotta be in it to win it, and we've still got another night to go. Right, well, good morning. Very quiet night last night. Not a lot happened. Well, one thing did happen. At midnight, my right hand rod, bobbin, completely hit the deck. Massive slack liner. Jumped out of bed. Unfortunately, by the time I got to the rod, picked it up, wound in all the slack. Sadly, the fish had got into the weed and managed to get rid of the hook. So, one lost fish. 1-0 to them, let's say. Yeah, a little bit annoyed about that actually, to be honest, but it happens unfortunately. This shallow bay does get quite weedy, and the weed is very much pretty much up to the surface now, so it is quite thick in places. But never mind, it's nice and early now. It's only about 5:30 in the morning. Still got just over 24 hours left to go, so I put the rod back out on the spot last night. Redone it again this morning as soon as I could just about see, just to make sure I was 100% happy that it was exactly where it was the night before. I'm just going to see what the day brings, to be honest. Fingers crossed the sun will come out, and if it does, I might try and have a little go on the surface. If not, I'll definitely be slinging a few zigs about just to see if I can pick up a fish or two that may be cruising around. They do like a mixer in here, I'm not going to lie. Especially this time of year. Now, this time of year is a good time of year to get them on the mixers. One, it's early in the year, they haven't been hammered on them yet, and two, the gulls are not here. The gulls are an absolute nightmare on here when you try and surface fish, but when they're not here like they are now, when they've disappeared off to go and nest and lay their eggs and stuff, it gives you a really good opportunity to get some. But all depends on the weather, and it depends if the fish play ball, but that's the plan anyway. But for now, I'm going to get the kettle on, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy the morning, see the sunrise, and just keep trying, really. Plenty of time left. Right, well, good morning. Another quiet night. Literally nothing to report from last night. Not even a drop back like the night before. Very, very quiet. A few liners here and there, but I think that was more bits of weed that's been pushing down the lake on the wind that's been getting caught in my line and my rod tips more than anything. So yeah, very quiet unfortunately, so nothing to report. Still got a few hours left though. I ain't got to be off till about 10 o'clock. It's only about 6 o'clock now, so got a few hours left. Just going to sit tight, keep an eye on the water. If I see anything show, I might maybe reel in a rod and try and chuck a single at something. If the sun comes out, who knows, we might get lucky again and be able to crack the mixers out again. I did try last night, funnily enough, up until about 9 o'clock, until the sun set, just because every now and again there was the odd fish, and I mean odd fish, showing, but couldn't get any more takes on the mixers neither. But, you know, lucky to have one really, so I'll take it and run. But yeah, that's that really. Unfortunately, that will also probably be it for me down here for the rest of spring. It's only the second week of May, but in 2 weeks' time I'm off to France, and then as soon as I'm back from France, I'm home for about 24 hours, and then I'm off down to Sandhurst. Team Impulse Baits have hired the whole lake, so we've got one of our annual socials down there. So if you do watch my videos, stay tuned, because fingers crossed, hopefully by the start of June I should have 2 more after this one out. But like I say, still got some time left now, but if you don't see me again, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.